Hey cake lovers, today I'm at the Pret Portea afternoon tea at the Berkeley in London. This tea is inspired by the autumn winter 2020 to 2021 catwalk collections. So let's start with the sandwiches. The sandwiches, they were okay. My sandwiches are a bit different to my friends because I'm pescatarian. I mean, they're all right. They were nothing special. They weren't really bad, but they weren't amazing. They were just okay. So onto the sweets. Now you get this booklet that comes with the sweets because it shows what the items that they're inspired by. So we're gonna start with the Iris apple biscuit, and she's like this big sort of fashion icon who turned 100 last year. So they kind of commemorated it by making a biscuit. I didn't actually eat the biscuit because I thought it was so pretty. Here's the biscuit here. I don't know if you can see it in the light. But it's decorated in royal icing, and the biscuit itself it says it's a spicy biscuit. I'm just reading from the book. Um, my friend actually tried hers and she didn't like it. She said it was like it was a bit crumbly, and it could have been a biscuit you might have got from like Tesco or something, like a cheap biscuit. They just iced it. I mean, I'm not gonna eat mine. I just think it's just too pretty um, to eat. But yeah, that's the Iris apple biscuit. Okay, next up is sorry, Balenciaga. So the sweet was based on this item here. It was a what is it? Velvety mandarin cheesecake with orange confit on chocolate sable, topped with a dolce cream and oversized chocolate hat. It looks really beautiful, as you can see in the video. Um, it was okay. I mean, for me, as a cake vlogger, I'm always about how it looks and how it tastes. I think the two need to go together, and that you shouldn't have one without the other. So it's a pretty cake. I mean, I ate them all, but I'm just obviously talking about the taste. So yeah, it was all right. You know, nothing spectacularly memorable, but it was okay. Okay, so next is the Stella McCartney. So it was based on this item here. It was it's like a sponge with cassis mousse with blackcurrant jelly and a zigzag or Joconda sponge. The sponge was really pretty. You can see the design of the sponge. Again, it was okay. I mean, it was fine. It was we have the Johnny, this one. So it's a hazelnut cross. I don't know if I'm saying it right. So caramel encased with Farhano, chocolate mousse, and finished with a passion fruit creme diplomat and chocolate shard. This was interesting because the chocolate was quite dark, which is fine. Then you had the passion fruit, and passion fruit can be a bit tart. So it's a nice cake for someone who doesn't really like sweet cakes because you just got the tartness and then you got the chocolate in there as well, which kind of marries it. So yeah, again, it was it was nice. Um, Next one is this one here, the Varley. I didn't end up taking a video of it. I don't know why, but it was a meringue, and inside it had like the Granny Smith apple compote, and it was topped and jam, and it's topped with chantilly cream. Um, didn't like this one. I didn't mind the meringue, even though I'm not a big fan of meringue, but the cream was all right, but the apple inside, I just didn't feel it went with it. I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't eat it. Um, didn't eat it. I just didn't think the flavors went very well together. So not a fan of this one. Next up, we have the Fendi bag. This one here. It was a cinnamon chocolate blondie encased with ivory chocolate and furnished with desiccated coconut fur. I quite like this one. I think out of the ones that I've described so far, this had quite a distinctive flavour. It was very cinnamony. So if you don't like cinnamon, you probably wouldn't like it. But the combination of the flavours went really well. So I did enjoy this one. And finally, the Gucci, which is based on this product here. You can see me making a hash of trying to cut it. It's a sharing cake. And it inside is citrus marshmallow. It's a red velvet cake, mascarpone mousse, topped with a hand painted chocolate dome. Inside citrus marshmallow dipped in white chocolate, and the whole ensemble is finished with a chocolate truffle riding hat filled with dark chocolate ganache. Not a big red velvet fan, but this is my favourite cake, way above all the others. I really liked it. My friend loves red velvet anyway, but this was my favourite cake. As with most, obviously, all afternoon teas, you get a choice of tea. There was a wide selection of teas. I ended up having vanilla black, which was really nice. Actually, had kind of a sweetish flavour, so I quite enjoyed that. I kind of stuck with that tea. I think sometimes with afternoon teas, it's so overwhelming because there's such a wide choice of teas. But I just stuck with that one, and it was a fine tea. So the cost, now this isn't one of the cheaper teas. It worked out to about £73 each. Yeah, so it's on the high end of afternoon teas. Okay, so my conclusions and thoughts. No scones come with this afternoon tea. I suppose scones don't always have to be with an afternoon tea, but no scones come with this afternoon tea. My friend wanted scones, so she asked for them, and she got them, and she said they were okay. No, there was no napkins on the table. When I got there, because my friend was running a bit late, I was just on my phone, and it was only until we started to eat we realised there was no napkins. It's like, why do we not have any napkins? So, for something that's supposed to be like a 5-star hotel, that was a bit of a minus. I'm just reading from my phone. One of the sauces was dirty underneath with food, so attention to detail. The service was a little bit slow. I mean, obviously I was there waiting for my friend, fine, and then she came, and then eventually somebody came over, took our tea order, and then they put in for the sandwiches. But we kind of waited about 20 minutes for the sandwiches, and we kind of thought it takes 20 minutes to make sandwiches. Was it busy? I wouldn't say it was overly busy, but it was just a case that, yeah. And then obviously they gave us our sandwiches, and then had our sandwiches, and then eventually they came over, and everything was just a tiny little bit slow. And near the end, it was kind of like, obviously there was a change of shift, that's fine, but there was less tables to serve. But it was still kind of like, we asked for the bill, and then the bill took about 15 minutes to come, and then it was like, okay, fine. I mean, it doesn't take us long to look at a bill. Then it was like another 15 minutes. Like, is anybody going to come with the card reader? We had to ask for that. It was just like, speed it up, £73 each kind of thing. It was just a little bit slow. And one thing as well, obviously, when I went in, they offered me water. Now, the water in the bottle of water, it's like probably a litre bottle, or probably 750 mils. But just to be warned, the water is £7.50 a bottle. So if you go, you don't want to pay that, because I was kind of like, I don't know why I thought it might be free. But then just ask for tap water. I have no way asking for tap water. I don't care. So there is that. But one thing I will say is the loos are nice. The loos are nice. I would give it 6.5 out of 10. My friend gave it... No, I gave it 6 out of 10. My friend gave it 7, so we kind of came to the middle to give it 6.5. For where it is and what it was, I just felt it could be just a little bit better. But if you have somebody who's really into fashion, and they'll like the book that comes with it and everything, I think it's a nice treat. So that afternoon tea was perfect for fashionistas. But what about afternoon tea for children? Make sure you watch this video next to see my review of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory afternoon tea.